And I told my wife, Jessie, I was like, I have done this. At that time, I'd done it for nearly 20 years. I kind of know what I'm doing, and I think it would work. And she was supportive. She said, great. I think you should do it too. I don't know how you're going to do it, but good luck.
Yeah. What brought on Chêne Gear, and how did that come about to where y'all became one of the biggest names in a short period of time, really?
Toward the end of Drake, the two original owners were looking to retire and exit and kind of sell and move out of it. That was their choice. Wasn't really sure of what the future would hold. You know, when you sell to private equity or you sell to somebody else, you know, someone new comes in and makes changes. You know, I'm married. I've got 3 little girls, and I'm like, I don't know what my future is going to be. And it kind of felt like my future was someone else's hands. For me personally, that wasn't the feeling I wanted. And I told my wife, Jessie, I was like, I have done this. At that time, I'd done it for nearly 20 years. I hate to say it, and I don't want to admit it, but I kind of know what I'm doing. I think I could do this in a different way and use different materials that I can't use now. And if we sold it direct to the consumer and didn't sell it to stores, that would allow us to pay more for it. We could build it a little bit different. We could use some different technologies that were out there, and I think it would work. And she was supportive. She said, great. I think you should do it too. I don't know how you're going to do it, but good luck.
Yeah.
And we need to eat Friday. So we had to keep those paychecks coming. And I went out. I was able to, Charles and I have a really good friend, and he's kind of connected with some other people. And I called him one day and I said, hey, can you make an introduction between me and, you know, someone else? And he said, yeah, I'll certainly do it. And I got partners and I got financial support, and I got 3 great partners that were willing to be, you know, part of it and get it going. And that was awesome. So all of a sudden now we had the financial way of getting the business done. And I was like, I think this is going to work out. Lo and behold, there was this thing called COVID. I don't know if y'all heard about it. It's a little small global pandemic that happened to us. So it was kind of interesting. And, you know, that brought on all its own unique challenges because I was sourcing textiles and products and trims from all over the world, sending them into a manufacturing facility, and then trying to get them into the U.S.
So that was the big challenge then, because things shut down. I mean, everywhere.
Everything shut down. You know, you couldn't move it through systems because no one was working the rails. Nobody was at ports, you know, and then trying to get it from one country to another country where they wouldn't allow those people from this country into that one because of global pandemic. Yeah. And then on top of it, the zipper that we were using in the waiter, they were using in some of the containment systems that they were using in hospitals. So they're like
PPE stuff we all heard about.
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So, you know, I'm like, hey, I need those zippers to build a waiter. And they're like, well, we need these zippers in the hospital. We're trying to save lives.
Yeah, there's a little priority there.
Yeah, I was like, all right, well, whenever you can.
But I mean, that has to be one of the toughest things to be starting to getting a business off the ground during that pandemic time.
It was.
But there's also part of a blessing to it because, to me, it brought people to the outdoors. All of a sudden, people had time, and then they somehow had money. I don't know how everybody had money then, but they were spending it. And it was like, man, the outdoor sector just blew up because people, that was the safest place for us to go, was outside.
That's right. You know, we did that complete direct-to-consumer approach. We were like, you know, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to sell it directly to you. You don't have to go to a store. Presented its own unique challenges, but it was also the opportunity because people weren't going to stores. So like, I'm not going to a store anyway, so I have no problem buying online. And it's funny, when we launched the business, almost immediately, one of our top 3 states was California. And we're like, well, this is weird.
You don't think of that as a duck hunt destination?
Don't think of it, but it is. It's a huge duck hunting destination. They have massive public land out there. But those people had been buying online for years because there's no sporting goods stores in the state of California. So they were used to it. So it was a no-brainer for them. Like, I'll buy it. So
is that still one of your biggest markets, is the California section?
Well, as the Southeast is filled out and everything's kind of filled out, it's probably dropped, but we've still maintained steady growth in California, and it's important to us. So it's a key state. That's really interesting to me because I know, like everybody else, we're in the South, and we hear California, we don't think of people that hunt and fish. You think of all the cities out there and everything, all the other problems that we see in the news, but there really is the majority of that state is outdoors. Oh, it is.
And there's so much vast land.
Outdoor. I think it's the San Francisco Valley. There's a big valley area that 2 and 3 in rice production. You know, one of the top 2 or 3 states in rice production, and it's just ducks everywhere. I went out there turkey hunting 2 springs ago and got to see a lot of the country. It's amazing. Once you get outside of LA, outside of San Francisco, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, all kinds of species of animals and just rolling hills and beautiful country.